All right. Hello, my friends. I'm Tonia Tyler, and I would like to introduce you to my new web series called Coffee with Tea on Confidence Strides. And today we are having a few conversations with some expert friends that I have who train on this new craziness that's been in our life lately. And I have Miss Kristin Tatman on here. She is a change agent. Let me give you a little info about Miss Kristin. She is a mom, a wife, and a serial entrepreneur, which I love. She focuses on helping others with their assertiveness, anxiety, and depression, and of course, leadership. And she is a certified NLP coach, an assertiveness coach, and she has her master's degree in spiritual psychology. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Miss Kristin Tatman and share a little bit about how we're navigating this whole fear that's been going on in this lifestyle that we've been dealing with, Miss Kristin.
Yeah, so we're all going through a very human experience together. We're all having an experience that we've never had before. We're going through a lot of emotions right now, and it's very normal. So we're going through grief. There's a lot of grieving going on for us, and a lot of us don't know exactly what's going on inside, but we just feel different. We don't feel ourselves. Where some of us are binging on television and we're just comatose and we're like shutting down. Some of us are taking in everything that the media is giving us, and we're overwhelming ourselves. Our hearts are, going really fast, and we've got stomach problems. We're causing all kinds of illness within our own bodies just because of all the stuff that we're bringing in. It used to be that we could go and buy a gallon of milk for, it would take us 4 to 5 minutes to hop into a store and to go grab it. Now we're having to think, is there going to be a line? Do I need my hand sanitizer? Should I bring my own bags? Am I going to be allowed to bag? Is the store going to be open for me? Once I get in there, am I going to have to walk around and worry about people breathing on me? Like, there's so much, we are hyper vigilant, we are hyper sensitive, and we're just very hyper aroused, and it's exhausting to us. Our bodies are exhausted. So we're all trying to figure out, why do I need to take a nap in the afternoon? Why am I so exhausted? Why do I just want to sit here and binge on TV and not do anything? Why am I paralyzed? And there's a lot of people that are out there saying, don't be paralyzed, get into action, go do things. And this is a perfect time to clean your house. So those of us who don't feel like cleaning our house and putting our stuff away, we're like, what's wrong with me? Everybody's saying that we're supposed to be hyper vigilant and this is a great opportunity, but we're I don't have anything left. And the reason why we don't have anything left is because everything is taking so much more energy, worrying about our finances, whether or not we're going to have enough money to pay our bills, our rent, and whether we're going to have a job, what kind of job we need to get, how are our kids doing? There's so much that our brains and our bodies are on overdrive right now. So what I want to really encourage you and your listeners is that just recognize that it's perfectly normal for you to feel grief, for you to feel sadness, overwhelm, anxiety, depression, frustration, anger. This is all perfectly normal. We're all going through it, and we are going to get through it. So just allow it to be, and don't put too much pressure on yourself to try to be Wonder Woman and go clean out a whole closet or whatever. If that works, great, but don't. Give yourself grace. Give yourself permission to just be and be okay with just being in the moment and allowing yourself that time to detox and just get out, go for a walk, moving this energy out of your body, because this is more energy than any of us have ever experienced. This is more thinking than we ever do in our lifetime. When you go to the grocery store and you got your phone in your hand, you're calling your girlfriend and you're picking up your milk, it's like nothing. Now it's like, damn, this is an hour long. I gotta go plan before. What time am I going? It's a lot of work. So anyway, that's kind of the messaging that I'm really sharing with people, and that I'm getting from everybody that I'm listening to, is that just give ourselves grace, and just to know that this is normal, and to remind ourselves this too shall pass. We're not going to be here forever. This is not going to be, this is not permanent. And as much as it feels like the end of the world at sometimes, it's not going to be. It's going to be a different world. We're going to show up in a different way. We're going to be different people. We'll be different versions of ourselves. We'll have different relationships. And there's going to be a lot of blessings in this. We're all going to grow a lot individually and as a community and as a country. And there's going to be a lot of really good things that come out. And so we really need to stay focused on that. So enough there.
Well, I love that intro because, like you said, I'm not one of those folks who watches traditional television. So when I first heard it, I was thinking like, because I don't follow the news, so I was like, what is this that they're talking about? First, I was thinking, oh, it's some kind of like political mess, That was my first thinking. Then I thought, the more I heard about it, and I seen that, like they shut down major things, I was like, oh, this is a little bit more important, a little more than I thought. So the more I started, picking up things. I still don't watch TV, but I did watch a couple of podcasts on YouTube that really explain some things about like how the viruses work and stuff like that. So I would say, how important is like educating yourself on this, maybe some of the stuff that you don't understand. How important is the education portion of it?
I think it's important for us to be educated. And I think like what you're doing is the most ideal thing to do. To go online, watch some videos in YouTube, about how the virus works and about what you need to do. I think it's important that we're informed. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV or the news or anything for about 6 or 7 years. I've been a travel agent for 30 years. So I need to be in this right now because there's ships out there with people on them and all kinds of things going on. So I need to know what's going on. So I originally started, watching the first 2 hours every day of the president, just so I knew what was going on. And then I started noticing I was starting to collapse. Like I was like, every time I get done watching it, I have to go lay down for an hour before I could come back to lay. And so I finally now, I go in and I watch, there's a little snippet that I'll watch right after he comes on, and they'll give a briefing for about 15 minutes. So I allow that for myself. But I would definitely say I'm a holistic health coach too. I'm very much into holistic health and taking vitamins and supplements. And what I'm really surprised about is that they are not encouraging people to take supplements and to boost their immune systems. I think that's the greatest thing that we can be doing right now. Vitamin D3, taking 5,000 IUs of that a day, taking vitamin C, 1,000 up to 10,000 milligrams a day. And then if you're starting to feel like you're getting cold, taking some zinc. I mean, I think if we take those things, we can keep ourselves from this thing taking over. And so that's what I'm telling my clients and, my kids and my family. We're all just boosting our immune systems. But it's a serious thing. And it's definitely something that we need to understand. We need to be educated about. And, we need to be thinking about how we could impact other people. We could be carriers of it and not even know that we've got it. So it's, right. I definitely think we've got to take it very serious.
Yeah. I said, once I watched the YouTube, it was like, first, I'm like typical people. When I watched the video, I clicked on it to see how long it was. It was like over an hour. It's like, oh my God, that's an hour. But then you know what? Could be an hour worth of information that would, benefit maybe me and other people that I know. So I did watch it. I sat there and I watched it, and I learned a lot. I got excited after I watched the video. So anyone who wants it, I will share it in the links. But like I said, it's educating yourself and trying to find, I always call this navigating your new normal. So like, for instance, my daughter's out of work, and I know she's a little anxious about it, but my granddaughter is loving it. She's a little more clingy to her mom now that she has her mom. So I always find, like, I try to find the positive in some of these things because they're offering a lesson, a lesson for you to learn. So with that being said, how do you change your mindset to find the positive in things?
Well, that's a really good question. And what I would say is, first of all, I teach people how to uncover the thoughts that are keeping them stuck, that are holding them back. And right now, these thoughts are very disempowering. They're very much keeping us stuck. They're not serving us at all. I was just holding this book. I don't know if I kept the page. Oh, I did. But, fear can escalate and grow within us. The more we focus on it, the more it grows. So we need to recognize that a lot of times we're having a fearful thought. We're worrying about our finances, or we're worrying about that we're not going to get to go to the wedding we wanted to, or all the different things. We're worried about not having a graduation. As we're noticing that the fearful thoughts are coming in, we're actually creating every thought that we have, we're creating reality with it. So we project thoughts out into the future, and then that's what we start to strive towards. Because you're picturing the worst case scenario, you're actually going to create the worst case scenario for yourself, because you're going to be expecting it. You're going to be starting to show up in a way for that worst case scenario. My husband and I have a printing company, and it's in Indiana, and we're in an essential business. So right now we are working on, doing all kinds of things for the casket industry and for the hospital industry. So we're very busy with that. But there have come times where I'm noticing my thoughts of what's going to happen after this. Are we going to still have a business? Are we still going to be in business? And I catch myself, and catch yourself in that moment and go, I'm creating a thought that's not even a truth. That's something that I'm creating. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the future holds. But for me to be creating that and then to be working towards that and have that as my vision is not serving me. So you want to notice the thought that you're having, and then you want to change it to a new thought. So what's a more empowering thought that you can have? So a lot of times people will notice the thought, and then like Mel Robbins will say, count back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll say, put your hand on your heart, take in a deep breath, notice the thought, and then just say to yourself, is this true? Well, no, it's not true. It hasn't happened yet. I'm creating it. So then you want to say to yourself, what's a different thought that I could have? So instead, I can look at this thing and say, our company is going to be, have an amazing amount of this right now because of the two industries that we're serving. Grow out of it, keep making clients, and this could really be a boost for what we've been looking for. So changing my thought. One minute I'm going to think that the thing's going to close and we don't know where we're going. The next minute I'm thinking this is going to be great for business, and I keep what's next. And as I keep working towards I see what's next, energetically we're all energy vibrating out into the world. That's physical. We're vibrating that out. We're going to attract that to ourselves. So noticing the thought, changing it to a new self-empowering thought, and constantly doing that will really help you. When you start worrying about your money, I'm not going to have money next month. You don't know if you're not going to have money. What if you start thinking of ways to bring in some extra income? What if something just happens where something extra income or an extra opportunity comes into you? But if you're blocking that with your fearful thoughts, and you're blocking it with, oh, this is impossible, it can't be, and those are the kind of things you're focused on, that's what you're going to actually create. Hope that makes sense. I know it's a little complex, the quantum physics thing, but.
No, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. I guess I always track back onto the questions like, so how do you, like, I know you talk us about how to, be mindful of our thoughts. Like, are there practices that people can put in place to help emphasize and grow that awareness? Is there something that you would recommend or something like that?
Yeah, a lot of times we don't know the thoughts that we're having. We don't know the thoughts and the beliefs and the patterns of behavior that we're doing. We have no idea we're doing it. Somebody says, you do that all the time, and you're like, I do? Like, you have no idea. We're unconscious about what we're doing. And so one of the things I like doing right now is I call it my patterning journal. I put a note in my phone, and I just start noticing the thoughts that I'm having. If I'm having a thought of I'm judging somebody, or I'm having a fearful thought about something, I'll just put it in there. The other day I was like paranoid about, oh, I don't want to go on that Instagram in that particular group because there might not be people that are, that are for me in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a paranoid thought. Well, I don't realize how often do I have paranoid thoughts? How often do I think the worst of somebody? So you put that in your phone and you can track it, and then you can go back and reread it. Once you see the things that you do unconsciously that just happen, the thoughts that you're just having, and you actually can see them in person and like in writing, you can actually change them. Like, for example, somebody might say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about everything. And they start writing down how often they're saying they're sorry. People are like, you say you're sorry all the time. You're like, no, I don't. I do not. They're like, yes, you do. So you start tracking it in there. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I said that like 9 times today. So tomorrow when you get up, all of a sudden you're getting ready to say, I'm sorry. And you're like, I'm not sorry. I'm good. And you start changing the thoughts and the words, because you become conscious of what it is you're doing. So that's a really great tool. Another thing you can do during this time when you're feeling all this anxiety and stuff coming is just to get your feet planted on the floor, uncross your arms, uncross your hands, and just put your legs or put your hands on your lap and close your eyes and take in a deep breath in through your nose and out through your belly. I'm just going to invite everybody to do that if you're comfortable with it, just to see this shift. Notice how you're feeling right now, and then just do this with me for a minute. So go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose, and then release it through your mouth. Really big release and breath. Take another deep breath in and release. One more deep breath in. And release. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And then just notice how your body feels. How do you just feel like if you really took in that air and you really let it out, you feel calm. It's just like before you and I got on here, we're talking about how you can get yourself all ramped up about getting on these calls, and taking a couple of deep breaths in like that just helps your body. So as you're having a fearful thought and you're worrying about, getting sick, or you're getting ready to get in the car to go to the grocery and you're feeling anxious, take that time and just take in some deep breaths and know that you're present, you're here, you're safe. The thought that you're having about not being safe, about being sick, or about somebody doing something to you 10 minutes from now is not reality. It's a thought. It's not real. You're just creating it. So come back and say, that's not true. I don't even know what's going to happen in 10 minutes. I'm going to get grounded. And once we start breaking out that energy, because a lot of this stuff is just pent up energy. A lot of this stress that we're going through is just, we're hypervigilant. Our bodies are just on, And so it's important right now, getting out, taking a 15-minute walk, doing some jumping jacks, whatever, just to release this stuff. It feels really good. I've been doing that a lot. I've been exercising 2 or 3 times a day now. I never had time before. And now, I don't necessarily still have the time, but I'm so like keyed up that I have to just keep doing it. But I feel better than I've felt in months.
Right. I understand the whole walk thing, because that's how this whole the web series came about. Because I take, on average, I take an hour walk every morning. It's been a habit for like over 6 years. And sometimes, like I said, I just like learn to I get caught up. I have a slight addiction to social media sometimes, I admit. So what happens is I'll get on the Facebook and I scroll through, and then what I realize is after I leave Facebook, I'm having like ruminating thoughts like, oh my God, there's so many people doing so many other things. I was like, wait a minute, and then I say, it's time for go for a walk. So I'll go for a walk, and then I'm thinking it takes me a good 15 minutes to detox myself. Then I'm thinking, get off of Facebook, Tonia. So, there's things that we can do in place. So I love the fact that you addressed the whole walking thing. What else would you suggest? Like, I know the meditation. Is there, anybody who's looking for like a healthy way to do it, is there anything else you would maybe recommend?
Well, one of the things that I would say is to do a social media detox. It's super important that, all the experts are talking about that. Everybody that I'm following, everybody's saying the same thing. Really, it's time to clean out your phone. Start, if you're on Instagram, I spent most of my energy on Instagram. And if you're on there, you can block people's stories. If there's people that are putting fearful things up, or things that don't feel life giving to you, just block them for right now. You can always bring them back in, but right now, follow people that are going to give you positive ideas, affirmations, that are going to be talking about hopefulness and all the good things that are happening right now. And really limit your social media, because, it's great that you don't watch TV. I truly believe that, watching a Netflix movie and things like that occasionally are good, but I think it can be very, damaging if we're constantly on social media comparing ourselves to others. So another thing that a lot of people are suggesting, and I think this has been great, this is what I do. During times like this, when I need a distraction, I'll go on and say, I want to learn I'm learning how to dance this month. So I'm taking a hip hop class online at 7:00 tonight, and it was $5. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. So this month I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? I'm also I'm in 2 different business building programs. And so I'm learning from those people, and they're all motivational, inspiring. They're all talking about the future. They're all talking about potentiality and side gigs and just things like that excite me. So I'm spending my energy learning, but there's people that are going online and learning how to speak Spanish. They're learning arts and crafts. There are so many free things out there available on YouTube for us to spend our time in. So pick something that you've always wanted to do, and start spending your energy and say, okay, I'm getting off social media. Instead, I'm going to go find somebody that I can practice hip hop with.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Kristin. We are down to the last couple of minutes. So how can people find you if they want more information about what you do?
Well, I do a lot of free content. I'm on Facebook. That's where on Fridays I do a Friday Focus at 11:30. So I just did that one today. But my Facebook page is Kristin Tatman Coaching. And I'm also on Instagram. I probably spend more of my time with inspirational, motivational, positive vibe stuff. And it's Kristin Tatman Coaching on Instagram. So I put a lot on my stories and things like that. So yeah, and then I've got a website. It's KristinTatman.com, KristinTatman. And yeah, I've got a class. I'm teaching a thought pattern perfecting class right now. I'm in there every day helping people with their thoughts, their fear-based thinking, and helping them to, to really transform this. So if somebody really needs some help in, some real support around feeling the negative feelings or feeling depressed or feeling anxious or feeling alone, it's a great program to join. It's only $97. And I am doing, my coaching is half price for $85 right now during this time when people need support. So yeah.
Thank you. I want to say again, personally, say thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge. And I want to say I will put those contacts and links for you to follow Kristin if you want to know more information about some of her current projects and how to find her. And feel free to put comments in the comments about what you thought, maybe some new thought ideas you'd like to see. And I want to say thank you, Kristin, and thank you for your time and watching us. Please tune back into Coffee with Tea. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me be here.